And started. Okay.
Okay, so I'll get to the problem here. So it's, which one are you on?
I'm on, I started getting stuck on number 10.
For theory of equations or what?
Sorry, what?
For which assignment?
The rational functions.
Rational functions.
Polynomials weren't too bad, actually. They were pretty straightforward.
Okay, and this isn't in my math lab.
Nope.
No, we have two worksheets that we have to print out.
Gotcha. Okay. Today is my big math day, so that's why I am a little behind here. Is it lessons 1 and 2 or lessons 3 and 4?
3 and 4.
Okay.
It should be like at the bottom of the, if you click on the week 4 thing, it should be towards the bottom. Yep.
Okay. Number 10. Graph and find all of the important parts. Find the horizontal and vertical asymptote. Sketch the graph of each rational function. Find the domain and range. Okay. So
I can do all that except for the range on number 10.
All right. So how do you usually calculate range?
I find the inverse.
And what did you get for the inverse on this?
That's the, I don't know how to, in this one, if you try to find the inverse, you end up with a y instead of an x squared at the bottom, you end up with a y squared on the bottom. And usually I just multiply that over to the other side and then factor out the y. But since it's squared, I don't know how to get just one y. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So you didn't just square root it after that?
I tried, but it didn't. I wasn't working for me. I tried a bunch of stuff, but maybe I'm just missing something obvious.
Let me look at this. So for x squared minus 4. Okay. So let me see. For the inverse, okay.
This is what I've got for my inverse so far. Yeah.
Did you expand it before you found the inverse?
Expand it, like
So what I would do is let me see. Put it into like quadratic formula. Does that sound super weird to you?
Put it into the quadratic formula. Wouldn't that find me x though and not y?
So you're wanting to find the inverse of that, so you would put that in a quadratic formula, and you get -1 plus the square root of 1 plus 16x squared all over 2x and negative 1 minus. So the plus or minus there. And then I would switch x and y.
So you put in quadratic form and then switch x and y and then solve for y. Let me see.
Yeah.
So to do that, so you just put minus x over x2 minus 4 equal to 0, right?
What did you say?
So how would you convert it to quadratic form?
Okay, so sorry, words are not my forte today. So I'm multiplying both sides, I guess, by x squared minus 4.
So you'll have on one side you'll have y times x squared minus 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be negative x equals y times x squared minus 4. Then negative x, I guess, okay, what I'm actually doing here is solving for x. So that's how I get expanded to x equals negative 1 plus the square root of 1 plus 16y squared over 2y.
So you're solving for x. Okay. Do you mind? Maybe if I'm not sure I'm following you very well verbally. Maybe if you could write it out, I could follow it better.
Yeah, 1 second. Okay. Okay, so first I'll write out the part where okay. So this is before I did the quadratic formula.
Oh, hang on. Y squared plus x. What is that? Y squared plus x minus 4y on the bottom?
Yes.
Y squared plus x minus 4y. Okay.
Then it's gonna be 1 second. Sorry, my brain is so slow right now. X equals negative 1 plus or minus square root of 1 squared minus 4y times minus 4y all over 2y. So did you put what I just had into quadratic formula?
Can I look at it again, actually?
Sure. So that's what I had at the end.
Okay, so let's see. You got x, k, and then you got y squared minus 4y plus x. So what happened to the x that was on the y squared?
Okay, so it's 1 second. I'm actually so slow today. What's going on? Okay, so it's, what am I writing? Did I write that down correctly?
The world may never know.
Sorry. It's yx squared plus x minus 4y.
Yx squared plus x minus 4y. Okay.
Yeah, so I just forgot to write. Do you ever do that? You're writing and you just miss a letter or something?
Okay, so you should. So then that's all equal to 0.
Yes. So yx squared plus x minus 4y equals 0.
Okay, and then you plug that into the quadratic formula.
Yeah. So b is going to be 1. So a is y, b is 1, and c is negative 4y.
So a is 1. So you actually plug in y into the quadratic equation.
Yeah.
Wow. And then minus 4y. So it's going to be 1 squared minus y, or minus 4 times y times negative 4y under the square root.
Yes. That's the radicand.
And 2 times 1. Wow, okay.
Okay, so then we're going to have to simplify that. So x equals negative 1 plus or minus square root of 1 plus 16y squared over 2y.
And then what?
Then you're going to switch x and y. So y equals negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 16x squared over 2x. Then we find the domain of the inverse function.
Is that still y? It's over 2y, you said? Still?
It's over 2x now because we switched x and y.
Okay. And then we find the domain of this.
Of the inverse functions, yeah. So don't forget that there are two functions written here because it's plus or minus.
Right. Okay.
So for the domain of negative 1 plus la-di-da, it's going to be x is greater than 0, or x is less than 0, or x is greater than 0, or I guess negative infinity to 0, non-inclusive, union, 0, infinity. And then we find the domain of negative 1 minus all of it. So it's going to be the same thing, I think. Yeah, so it's negative infinity, 0, union, 0, infinity. And then you combine the ranges. Which gives you, and since the domains, of the inverse. So that's going to give you, since they're both the same, when you combine them, it's the same. So it's negative infinity to 0, union 0 to infinity.
Wow, yeah, I did not learn any of this.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird roundabout way to go about solving that, but that's the only way I could think to do it so that you could get a good inverse.
And so you said the range was what again? One more time.
Negative infinity to 0, union 0 to infinity.
Oh, okay. On the worksheet answer key, she has negative infinity to infinity. Just that.
She has it to infinity?
Yeah, no union.
What? Are you kidding me?
I mean, you got a lot farther than I did, so that's something right. Well, if you guys want to start, I mean, I know we've got the extension problems and stuff, but since like I have class at 10:15, you guys want to start on the quiz?
Sure.
Okay.
Anyone heard from Matthew?
No.
Nope.
He does have a crazy schedule.
Yeah.
What's he taking, like 21 credits, he said?
Something like that.
Yeah. Group quiz.
Yeah, and then is the one that we're all missing points on the GOA, is that the one that I turned in?
I'm not sure. I can't actually even access it anymore on my end. Like, I can't even see if I submitted anything. It doesn't let me click on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Was it due date 1 or due date 2? Due date 1, right?
Let me check.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. You can just do the quiz.
Yeah, due date 1 for week 3. Okay.
So, Connor, would you like to do the writing?
Oof, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
I mean, you do have the best handwriting out of us, so.
That's so true.
I don't know. Susan's is, I think, clearer than mine, but
Susan's is pretty nice, but.
No, that's not nice.
Well, you were just scribbling. You weren't trying this time.
No, that's my trying. I was trying to make it legible for you, so there you go.
I've never even seen yours, Jaden, so I don't know.
I can write in cursive, but that's not helpful for math.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely do that. No problem.
I almost failed the ACT because I couldn't write in cursive.
Seriously?
Yeah, they make you write in cursive in the first section.
Oh,
wow.
Either that or it's the SAT.
Probably the SAT.
It's the SAT.
The first section of the ACT. There's one writing portion and it's optional on the ACT.
No, they make you write down the I will not cheat everything in cursive on the SAT, and if you don't, you failed.
What the crap, really?
Yeah.
I mean, knowing how to write in cursive.
I mean, I failed it because I missed one of the 6 places to write your gender.
Really?
Even though it was on there a number of other times, they didn't give me my score because I missed one.
Oh dear.
Being able to write in cursive is great, but I mean, I don't think it should be. I mean, it's just not a skill you need really nowadays, unless you're a calligraphy guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Using all of the techniques that you've learned so far, solve the following equations. Remember to always check your.
Okay.
So x to the 4th plus 14x squared equals. Or I'll just do plus 45.
So.
Let's see. 9 and 5 work. We can factor that.
We'll just factor that right there. So that'll be x squared.
Plus 5.
Wait a second. Yeah, plus 9 plus 5, or minus plus 9 plus 5.
Mm-hmm. But we're using x squared because it's x to the fourth.
Yeah.
Set both of those equal to 0.
Is this gonna be an imaginary number in here?
Yeah.
So it would be what, plus or minus I3 or I
3i.
square root of. Oh
You
yeah,
just have
3i.
to the I goes after.
Wait, why would the 3 be imaginary?
Because so you have x squared plus 9 equals 0. So you're going to subtract 9 and then square root that. And if you have a square root of a negative, then it's always imaginary.
Oh, okay.
Take out the imaginary number.
So then the other one's gonna be plus or minus square root of 5i.
So then when it's the square root, it's I square root 5.
I square root 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was easy.
And then it says, oh, we got to check it though too. So I'll just do that real quick. Oh, how the heck do you check that though? Like, how do you plug in a 3i into an equation?
Just plug it in. I don't know. Don't you have an I on your calculator?
Oh, I guess I could do that, huh?
Yeah.
I assume. Do you think we have to write out the checking though, or do you? I guess I can do that later. So let's just go ahead to the next problem. I'll write on the checking part afterwards.
See if they're extraneous.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, B. So we have absolute value bars on both sides. So does that mean we're going to have 4 combinations here?
Maybe. So this is confused. So I was confused on these two. I remember there was a. You do. Oh, never mind. So yeah, number 12 on the homework. That one has like a problem just like this. It's and we just make the two. We set up one as so we'll set up one side as x squared plus 7 or plus 2x equals 5 minus x squared, and then the other side will be the same thing except we'll put the other side in parentheses. I'll show you.
1 second, let me think through this in my brain.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry.
Usually my brain works. Not today.
You know, I used to like absolute values because it meant you just had positive numbers at the end of it. So I would have just taken the minus out of the 5 minus x squared. That's all I would have done.
So according to, if I'm like number 12, which is like the same setup, just different numbers, we should get something like this.
Okay, but since the other side has absolute values, do you not have to do both combinations for that as well?
I guess not. We could try doing that too.
Okay.
The homework problem. Have you guys gotten number 12 on the homework problem for miscellaneous equations?
No, I haven't.
I haven't gotten to 12 on that.
Okay. But it's like, I mean, I'm just
like
basing this off that problem, so maybe I'm wrong. How would you go about doing it, Susan?
So what I thought we would have to do is x squared plus 2x equals 5 minus x squared.
Mm-hmm.
And then x squared minus 2x equals 5 minus x squared. Is that right so far?
I thought so too, But on this homework problem, they didn't do that. Maybe this is just an alternative method of doing it. Instead, they just put they wrote it out the same way that you did, except it was they left the x squared plus 2 the same, x squared plus 2x the same, and then they just put the 5 minus x squared in parentheses and put a negative in front of it.
Okay.
Well, we can try. You want to try it your way though?
So with my way, I thought we'd have to have 4. But I don't know if that's true. Because for the first, I was going to do the first two, so the positive and the negative of the first absolute value, and then the positive and the negative of the second absolute value for each.
I think we should still get four answers if we do it this way too, though.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're more comfortable doing it the way you know, let's do it that way.
Okay, so let's just, so then you would have x squared plus 2x equals 5 minus x squared. X squared plus 2x equals negative quantity 5 minus x squared. Then you have or negative quantity x squared plus 2x equals 5 minus x squared. And then negative quantity x squared plus 2x equals negative quantity 5 minus x squared.
Yeah.
And then you just solve for x on all of those and end up with 8. Because since there are 2x squareds on either side of the equation, that's why I'm doing this, which might not be right, but...
So you'd end up with x. So you'd end up with x to the cubed, or no? You just end up with 2x squared. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Could we... Oh, wait. What if we got it equal to 0 first and subtracted the
5 over?
Yeah, the 5 minus x squared over.
So you get 2x squared plus 2x minus 5 equals 0?
So since it's in absolute value bars, you can't separate them. So it would just be x squared plus 2x minus 5 minus x squared.
X squared minus plus 2x minus 5x minus x squared, or plus x squared?
Yeah. Let me start over here.
Really? You can't add them together?
No, because they're inside the absolute value bars. So you have to find the absolute value before you subtract the other things. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Order of operations, you have to... It works as like a parentheses here. So you have to complete the parentheses before you can add or subtract. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to have x squared plus 2x minus 5 minus x squared equals 0. And minus x squared plus 2 minus 2x minus negative 5 plus. Okay. So what I ended up with is, do you want me to show you?
Mm-hmm.
So there's the 2 at the bottom there. They're really gross looking. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's right though. You see that?
Yeah.
So then we would just solve for x, I guess. On both of them. I don't know why I'm so tired. I got up not that it was a while ago, so I shouldn't still be like I just woke up. Okay.
I understand the feeling.
Are you going to use a quadratic formula?
Looks like you. Sounds like you have to, right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. So you have to do this for each one of these problems like this?
No. Because for the other one, I got x equals -5 halves.
X equals -5 halves.
Okay, so for the first equation that I had, I got -1 plus or minus the square root of 44. So what you got?
No, I don't know how to do it this way very well.
Okay.
But that's okay. I mean, you don't have to explain it to me right now. You obviously know what you're doing, so.
Maybe.
She's like, it's debatable in this sleep-induced state.
Just because for the radicand I got 44 because 2 squared is 4, and then 8 times -8 times -5 is 40, so 4 plus 40 is 44. And then I have -2 plus or minus the square root of 44 over 4, and then you divide that, so it's going to be over, oh yeah, my bad. So it's -1 plus or minus the square root of 44 over 2. Are we looking at the same thing here?
Yeah, I don't have nearly as much written down as you do, so I'm just kind of, I'm not able to. Sorry. What about you, Jaden?
Yeah, I'm still a little lost on that one. I started working on the next one.
Okay.
Because I understood it more.
The next one as in number 2? Or...
Yeah, number 2.
Okay.
So, but just to make sure I'm understanding on this number B or letter B, you just solve for x, or you just get each equation in this setup to equal into quadratic form, and then you just use the quadratic formula and solve for x?
So I only had 2 equations.
Wait, let me do 4 of them though.
No, because I got rid of the other ones.
Oh, so okay. So what 2 equations you have the x squared plus 2x equals 5 minus x squared, and then x squared plus 2x equals negative 5x, negative 5 minus x squared.
So I did x squared plus 2x minus 5 minus x squared, and then negative x squared minus 2x minus 5 minus x squared.
Okay, so then you have one to solve. Okay, gotcha. And then you just solved, you've got both of those in the quadratic formula, and then you use the quadratic formula.
Yeah, so then I distributed the negative into the quantity of 5 minus x squared.
Mhm.
And for the first equation, I had to use the quadratic formula, but for the second one, I didn't because the negative x squared and the x squared canceled out. So I just had a negative 2x minus 5, and then I solved for x. But I don't know if any of this is right at all, so
Well, it sounds like you know what you're doing though.
I'm good at sounding like I know what I'm doing. Doesn't always mean I do.
So you see you got negative, for one of them, you got negative 5 over 2 for x. Okay, I got that one as well.
Yeah.
And so the other one. Okay, well, you guys want to move on to the next one? We can come back to this one.
What do you got so far, Jaden?
I've got 4 answers, but I think there's supposed to be 5.
Oh yeah.
And the problem is I've finished everything.
Did you factor out the x and get a 0 for one of the answers?
Yes.
Okay, then let's get started. X.
And then I did synthetic division by 2.
Okay. So let's get to where you are. So we have x to the 4th minus 6x to the 3rd plus 14x squared minus 16x plus 8 equals 0. And then you did synthetic division. So 2 divided into 1, negative 6, 14, negative 16, 8, 1, 1, 2, negative 4, negative 8. Let's see, that's 6 times 2, that's 12, negative 4, negative 8, 0. Perfect.
Okay.
And then we have x to the 3rd minus 4x squared plus 6x minus 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Then we could do synthetic division again.
I did synthetic division again, and I got another 2.
Okay, so 2's got a multiplicity of 2.
Let's see, so 2, 1, negative 4, 6, negative 4, 1, 2, negative 2.
And then after that, I put it in the quadratic.
2 times 2 is 0. Yeah, so then we have x squared minus 2x plus 2. And then so then we have 0, 2 with a multiplicity of 2. Is that the problem here? Did you put a multiplicity there? Or did you say, oh, there are 2 2's, that's only 1 0?
I said there were 2 2's, and that was only one answer.
Did you get? Okay.
So I think that's the problem, is you need to add the multiplicity onto. But then what did you get for the last 2?
After doing quadratic, I got 3 and negative 2.
And negative 2. Okay, so our zeros are negative 2, 0, 2 with a multiplicity of 2, and 3. That's 5. Woo!
Wait, real quick. You said, so when you plugged into the quadratic equation, what did you plug in for it? You put positive. You put 2 plus or minus square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2?
Yes, all over 2 times 1.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that get us a, what did I do here? 4 minus 4.
I didn't actually do it.
Wouldn't that get us a negative 4?
Yeah, you get a negative 4 out.
Negative 4, not negative. Wait, what?
So like you should,
and negative 2.
we should get like a 2 plus or minus square root of negative 4 over 2.
Well, when you square the 2, it comes out of the square root, doesn't it?
When you square the 2.
Okay, let me do this real quick. 2 plus
Yeah, you should probably double check.
square root of 4 minus 4 times 2 over 2. So it's going to be 1 plus or minus. Okay, so for the radicand, I got 4 minus 4 times 2. So that's going to be negative 4, the square root of negative 4. Is that what you got?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, so it should be 1 plus or minus 2i.
1 plus or minus, yeah, okay.
Yeah, not 3 and negative 2. So I don't know how you got those ones, Jaden.
I must have misunderstood my tutor when he told me how to do this, because he said after you do the 2 squared stuff that you take out the square root symbol, the radical.
Yeah, no.
So
I don't think he probably didn't say quite that, but he probably meant you apply it if you can. Because a lot of times it will be something that you can square underneath the radical, but since this time it is. And so you take it out by applying it, so it's going to be 2i.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so all our roots should be 0, 2 with a multiplicity of 2, and then negative 2i, and then positive 2i.
1 plus or minus 2i, right?
1, yeah, 1 plus or minus, yeah.
Yeah.
So 1 minus 2i, and then 1 plus 2i.
Yes.
Okay, cool, okay. And I'll check that later. Next one.
The cost for making X plates of foods for this person to sell at the farmer's market is given in dollars by la-di-da. Find the number of plates of food for which the cost is 83.5. So we're going to put 83.5 equals 0.5x plus the square root of 8x plus 5,000. So we just have to solve for x on this one.
Well, I'm glad you know what you're doing, because I was like, oh man, I don't even know how to do this.
Yeah, I was.
So what we could do is 0.5x plus square root of 8x plus 5,000 minus 83.5 equals 0. Do you know why I'm doing this?
You're just getting a quadratic formula?
Yeah, so you know why I plugged in 83.5 for C because that's the total cost. And so we were finding out the number of plates. So then, let's see. 1 second here. Gotta use my brain real quick.
So
that can be a challenge sometimes.
In a couple seconds.
Can we plug square root of 8x plus 5,000 into the quadratic equation or formula if we really wanted to?
Probably.
Didn't you just square both of them and then it would be out of the square root?
Okay, just give me 2.
Or am I just making stuff up again?
I'm not sure.
Plus 8x. Okay. So one second. This is a puzzler for sure.
What if we kind of like what Jaden was saying? Oh, go
I
ahead.
think we should try to get rid of the radical by squaring everything.
That 5,000 turns into a very, very large number.
Yeah, so we can just keep it as 5,000 squared.
How I calculated it, it's like...
No, just like while we're working with it, just keep it as 5,000 squared.
Yeah, it's 25 million.
Yeah.
So are you guys thinking of like
5x squared plus what's 8 squared? 8 times 8 is what, 64? 64. Is that right? No. What? 8 times 8 is 64, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. X squared plus, I'm just going to keep it in parentheses and put 5,000 squared minus, what's 83.5 squared?
6972.25.
6972.25, and that's going to be positive, equals 0. So then, keep this as one thing. We can do the quadratic formula now, if we want. We have a very long C. That's the best I got, so.
Did we square the 0.5x?
Yeah, so it's 0.25x squared.
So wait, so what did you guys get for your quadratic? Oh, never mind.
Okay, so C is 5,000 squared plus 6972.25.
And you bring over the number from the other side and minus that from C.
Okay, so we already have brought the number over when we squared it, or at least I had. But it should be, yeah, so it's 5,000 squared plus 6,972.25 for C.
So why are we squaring the 5,000 though? Because isn't that under the radical as well? So if we square both sides, the radical will just go away instead of 5,000.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
That's okay. I was thinking. I just want to make sure I was understanding right.
Yeah, so 0.25x squared plus 8x plus 5,000 plus 6,972.25. Okay, that's good.
You said that was 4,999.75.
What?
So,
What are you saying?
So
What? For what?
let me see. Okay, just keep doing what you're doing. I'll check what I'm doing here.
Okay. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just think you're a step ahead of me here.
Okay, there we go. X squared. Okay.
Okay, so what did you get for C when you combined the numbers?
I got 11,972.25.
But wouldn't that 83 when you moved it to the other side, wouldn't that be a negative number?
No.
Why?
So at the beginning, I subtracted.
Oh, I guess it would be a negative
83.5.
number, and then when you square it.
Yeah.
But that all depends if you square it on the other side first or if you move it first.
I moved it first.
You say you got. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just don't know if you're supposed to square it first or move it first.
Move it first.
Okay.
So you got one for C. You got 11,972.25.
Yeah, is that what you got?
I got one. I didn't get the 11,000. I just got the 1972.25.
That's what I got.
What?
You subtracted 5,000 from 6972.25.
Why are you subtracting 5,000?
We're subtracting because we didn't move it first. We squared it first.
I think we're all kind of like mixed up a little bit because the 5,000 is under the square root, right? So we put the we just move the 0.5x to the other side, and then we'd square root both sides, right? And then we just get 8x plus 5,000 on one side.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we get 83.5 minus 0.5x squared.
Okay. Yeah. That's my bad.
No,
See, I told you I sound so confident, but really I don't know what I'm doing.
it's not your fault. I mean, it's not like you're just like every time you're like, oh, it's my bad. No, it's not. You're fine.
Okay.
Let's be honest. We'd be lost without you, Susan.
Yep.
Thanks, Jaden.
You're welcome.
Okay. So what we have then for the radicand is 8 squared minus 4 times 0.25 times 1,972.25.
That's a
Correct?
nicer number than 25 million I had earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait.
Times the -4.
Wait, you said you got 8 squared?
Yeah, because isn't 8b?
Yeah. It would be B.
But okay, but so if you square both sides though, what about the 83.5 minus 0.5x squared?
That's C.
So okay, so maybe okay, so I'll just explain real quick what I did. If you see here, I'm not going to show up very well because I wrote really light, but so I just moved the 0.5x to the other side, and then I square both sides.
Okay. I'm just going to start over.
I'm sorry, guys.
Because look at mine. It's all like scratched and scribbled and.
No problem.
Okay.
So if we're gonna try and scale the square root, we want to get the 0.5x to the other side, right? So we can square both sides, right?
Right. So here's what I'm doing. Okay. I'm gonna have the square root of 8x plus 5,000.
This is what I have for my quadratic.
That is not what I have.
Okay. So minus equals 0.5 x plus 83. 0.5. And then we're squaring everything. Square, square, square. So I have 8x plus 5,000 equals 0.25x squared plus 6,972.25. Is that right?
And then minus 83.5x.
What? Okay. So when I squared both sides, this is what I did.
Square both sides. So what happened to your 83.5 though? Did that just completely go away?
No, see, 83.5 is right here. It gets squared.
Right, but when you square it, you should, because like when you square it, don't you have to set it up into like it'd be 2 parentheses of negative 0.5x plus 83.5?
Oh, yeah. You're right. I distributed a square. No, Susan. Okay, so. Woo! Can I see what you did
We're gonna
again?
make it, guys. We're okay.
I think the next one's simple. I just wanted to look at what it was.
It better be simple or I'm gonna cry.
I think it's just 19 plates.
Great. You do that one while we finish this one up.
Okay, so 0.25x squared. And then plus. What's 83.5 times negative 0.5?
41.75. But it should be negative, right? Because you're times it by the negative 0.5x.
Yeah, so negative 41.75x. And then the same thing again. So it's all just going to be negative 83.5x, right?
Yep.
And then we're going to add 6,972.25, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's all equal to 8x plus 5,000.
Yes. So then we're going to get it all on the side. So we'll have 0.25x squared. And then, okay, math. So minus 70. Oh, wait, no. I'm subtracting 8.
Yeah, subtracting it.
A negative already. So it's going to be negative 91.5x, right?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, good deal. And then I'm subtracting 5,000, so plus 5,000, so 1,000. Okay, plus 1,972.25 all equals 0.
Yep, that's what I got.
Sweet. Now quadratic formula, so 91.5 plus or minus the square root of 91.5 squared minus 4 times 0.25 times 1,972.25.
And that should give us 2400.
Under the radical?
Yeah.
I'm going to believe you
I
on
think
that.
it was 80.
2400.
6400.
6400. All over
0.5.
2 times 2.5, so yeah, 0.5. Okay. So, is there a square root of 6,400?
Yeah, 80.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I knew that in my brain somewhere. So 91.5 plus or minus 80 over 0.5. And then that can all simplify to
I got 33, 43, and then 23 for the answers.
23 and what?
3, 4, 3, and 23. But you should double check me.
Okay. Yep, I agree.
Sweet. Okay.
So, what we have there, one should be extraneous, right?
Yeah, and I'll check those afterwards.
Okay.
If you guys are, and then I'll send you guys a picture again if that's cool with you guys.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And then B.
I think you just figure out like that from the 8350 cost of making the food. At least that's the only number I could figure out, and then you divide it by the 449 to figure out how many plates he could make to break even.
Okay.
And then you have to round up to the nearest whole plate because you can't just sell a partial plate.
So
I got 19 when I did that. It's his break-even point. Well, his profit when he starts making a profit.
Okay.
So in this case, if X is 1, so I think what we would do here is we need to find the cost of one plate to make. So we're going to plug in 1 for X.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying here?
I
So
follow.
Not yet.
okay, so 4.49 is how much he's selling the plate for, but we need to know how much it costs to make a plate to see how much it is to make profit.
Yeah.
So we're doing 0.5 times 1 plus the square root of 8 plus 5,000. So that's going to be 0.5 plus square root of 5,008, which is, sorry, my calculator is missing, so I've been using my computer.
Oh, gee.
That's why I'm so bad at calculating things. Yay. So I got approximately 70.76.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense in my brain. What's going on here?
It costs $70.6 to create one plate.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Unless it's one batch of plates.
Must be good food.
So he has to make this. If he makes one group of food, then it costs 70.75 plus 0.5. So it's going to be 80.2. Oh no, I mean 71.25. And then divide that by 4.49. So that's 16 plates. So he'll have to make at least 16 plates to make a small profit. 15. Or do we add one plate to that? So to break even, he makes 16 plates.
Yeah, I think
And
because
then,
it says to sell. How many does he have to make and sell to make a profit?
so he needs to make 17.
Okay. Can you guys? I have class in 5 minutes, so I gotta go. But if you guys can send me a picture of the work, then I can copy that down into the quiz.
Okay. Will
Sorry
do.
to cut it. Sorry to cut it early, but
It's okay.
No problem.
Have fun in
All right.
class, Connor.
Yeah, have fun.
The broadcast now. See you guys later.
All right, bye.
Okay,